What's good, yo people? How are you? Praise the Lord, wherever you are tuned in from. Good afternoon, good evening. Yes, so today we are tackling a very interesting topic whereby we as teenagers feel like when we try to talk to our parents, our points not being met, like we feel like our parents are not listening to us, and that's what you're going to converse about today. So thank you so much for joining us today once again, and with me are a couple of good friends. We're going to tackle this topic as we're conversing. Let them introduce themselves, and yes, let's start from that side.
So hope mko poa. Mimi naitwa Keith Kiune, nimetoka Nyahururu High School na hudi yangu ni race course.
Hi, Masi wa Irimo, nimetoka Bishop Gatimu Gandu Girls. Na naishi section 58.
Vincent here. Nimetoka phase 2, nasomea St. Joseph's Kitale.
So guys, my name is Lynette Moringe. I'm from Freehold, mini fresher.
And we have our guest to help us tackle our conversation today, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Thank you so much, Protas. My name is Gabriel, a business person. My residence is in Nakuru, and I'm a youth mentor. Karibu.
Thank you so much. So you guys know we are here to converse, and sometimes we actually feel like when we try to talk to our parents, there's no that effective communication between us and our parents. Why do we feel like we are not being listened to? Like, what do you guys think? What's the problem? That's what I'm asking. This goes to anyone.
From my point of view, kenye naona ni that most of us, we are strangers in our own homes. Like, tunaishi in the same house, but nikuuliza, can you really tell what your mother's favorite color is? What your mother's favorite food is? What your mother's best friend is? And can she really tell you who your best friend is? What your favorite color is? What your favorite food is? Like, tunaishi in the same house lakini hatujuani at all. Hakuna difference ya mimi kukaa with my parents na mimi kukaa with someone I've never met. Hakuna difference.
Na hapo pia, hapo ndo napatanga mtoto wako anafanya vitu underwater, like kila kitu anakufichia, everything is private, like his or her close friends ni maybe friends tu wake from school, anazambia when akona problem ama something like that. So I think hapo pia inaleta shida.
I actually feel like our parents they're more driven, yani wako tu in terms of kutu raise, wako tu focused na kutu raise in a specific way. Mna get? What do you think?
So hata hapo kwa wakiwa focused kwa kutu raise na specific way, I believe that kuna some communication barriers wametengeneza, in the sense that ukienda kumwambia of this issue, like atakuwa so judgmental hadi utahisi like ataka mlikuwa mmeanza ku create a bond, ataka mlikuwa mmeanza ku create like a communication like mlikuwa mmeanza kuwa pale pazuri pa communicate. Kuna mashida wezi waambia, kwa sababu ukiwaambia utakuwa na that strange feeling imetengenezwa among that family, itavunja like everything. Itakuwa ngumu for you to go and talk to her the way you used to.
His point, yes. Your parents weziendo umwambie kitu kama hata kuwa so quick to judge. Like, I have an issue, so I'm going through something. I decide I want to go tell my mom about it. At some point, you see, at first when you tell her, hey mom, sit down, I have something to tell you, the first thing itapop kwa akili yake ni haitampendeza, ni kitu haitatumpendeza. So they will be so quick to judge. Like, sasa hadi akijaribu kuexplainia kitu, utafeel nika wait mom, you're not understanding what I'm trying to say.
Like, anaona ni kama ni kitu negative tu kabisa.
Yani kitu tu haitamfurahisha.
And sasa Gabriel, now I'm just asking this. Why are parents motivated? Like, wako ni kama I feel like they wanna follow a specific rule
in the new century.
Kuna kakitu tu
akina 21st century, as Lynette says. I mean, is there a specific way, like you guys, you want to raise us up?
So, Protas and the team. That is so much towards the parents. And there seems to be a disconnect and possibly even a breakdown of communication. You know, when somebody says that they're in the same house, they don't speak, they do not know each other very well, then surely there's a need for concern. But maybe from the onset, let us say that if a person is taking care of you, you have a roof over your head, courtesy of them, you have some decent covering on your back, and you have some food. I want to believe that that person has the best of interests towards you. Maybe that is a good place to start with, you know, to appreciate that at least this far we have parents that have taken care of us. You also have to realize, by now you know, even adults do make mistakes. All here are young adults. And even from your own experience, you've realized that you make some mistakes. Is that true?
Yeah.
You have also realized that there are things you tell yourself to do and you are not able to do. Some are very hard to do. Now, tell me, if you continue the same way you are towards parenthood, aren't you going to carry over the same things, the same weaknesses? Possibly that is what has happened with our parents. And Alan, I see you want to speak. I would first of all say, maybe are there things that we have done that have made our parents suspicious in the past? Before you point a finger to them, maybe what are these things ambazo nimefanya, maybe niliulizwa ulikuwa wapi? Hapa tu. And then they realized sikuwa karibu because vumbi imenipata kutoka miguu hadi kwa waist hii time ya COVID na tuko supposed kuwa nyumbani. Are there things ambazo nimefanya in the past ambazo they have made my parent suspicious? Na sasa tuko nyumbani tunaangaliana like suspects. Kuna kitu ambacho kimehappen. Maybe that will be the first step. You know, let us appreciate the parents first of all. I'm sure mtu hawezi toa school fees kwa mfuko. There are things of course they have denied themselves. Tuanze na appreciation first of all is the best way to perceive this whole scenario. Halafu tuangalie, is there something that is causing them to be suspicious? Then, maybe then, from there tutaendelea vizuri.
Okay. Speaking of suspicion, maybe like sisi wengine wetu si ujaribu tu sana tusikose, like inafikanga tu extent to a certain point, umejaribu tu yako yote, yani tunajua tu ile umejifinya tu usifanye kitu mbaya, but then sijui kuna watu kwa mtaa, si ndio? Kuna mtu tu anakuanga amekugoja tu ufanye kitu afikishe report, na sijui ni kwa nini. Yani mbona wazazi huwa wanate kubelieve wase sana kuliko sisi tunawaambia sisi ndio watoto wao.
Yeah, there's something called invisible audience. And sometimes, maybe before I go to that, there is the self-perception, the way you perceive yourself. Now, there is the reality of who you are up to now, and there is how you see yourself. Now, there are changes that are coming to you over time. They could be cognitive. They are cognitive, actually. They are physical and all round, and emotional also. And now there is this perception that everybody is looking at me, so that if I make a mistake, I'll be so self-conscious that everybody is watching me. But also it is good to be fair, even to yourself, to know that people have their own share of problems. I was a teenager. There are things I did and I thought I did such a big mistake, in front of people. But now I know they never cared. They never noticed. So there is this invisible and audience in my mind that I'm thinking everybody is watching me. Nevertheless, there could be those people that watch you and they are doing collective parenting. They are making sure that kijana wa so and so anakaa vizuri, hatuaibishi kwa hii mtaa. But at the same time, it's also good to learn. This is a great time to learn how to negotiate. And I started by saying this is not a perfect world. You've realized now. By now, you know that the world is not a perfect place. Not the way at least you'd like it to be. Na huenda hata utawekelewa, a parent may have projection. Projection is where a parent looks at you na anaona ukivuta bangi, anaanza kufikiria huyu kijana kulingana na vile anakula ni kama anavuta bangi siku hizi. And out of their fear, they really want to raise a respectable person, a responsible person. Lakini because of what is happening around, anaanza kufikiria maybe huyu kijana wangu anavuta bangi. So akiendelea hivyo, it will be real in their minds. Na ataanza it's called projection. Ataanza sasa kukutreat like a person who really huvuta weed.
Lakini Chad, let's just be honest. I feel like sisi as teenagers, we have not we appreciate our parents, we appreciate our parents and for everything. But me, I feel like we have not connected with them emotionally. And so if we have kama tungekuwa tumeconnect now emotionally, ingekuwa a bit more easier ku raise hizo issues za akidaogopa usiende uka do drugs and all. I feel like that's actually the problem. What do you think?
Okay, on their side, the first thing is they are very care. They are very fear that you might go wrong. And that is what breeds suspicion, even where there is none. But at the same time, let us not give them any reason for suspicion. That is number one. But as I told you, this is not a perfect world. And this is time to learn to negotiate. There is something you really want to tell your parent or to communicate to your parent, but you don't have the ability because the perception is huyu ni mtoto wangu. And possibly they know nothing. Hakuna kitu anaweza niambia. Why? Because you've just come from late childhood into early adulthood. So they believe that bado haujajua, you cannot make it on your own. But it is for you now to prove them wrong in that you learn to how do I put it? To put your thoughts together. What do I want to communicate to my parent? Kwamba mimi I don't do weed or sifanyi mambo ambayo hayamfurahishi. What do I do? You learn how to construct your mind and how to articulate your words. And I'm telling you, if you learn that and the art of negotiations, mtaweza kukaa chini na muweze kuongea. But if at all times mahali mnakaa chini, it's only to be told don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And the other thing is that it's also good to look at the timing. Really, you won't have a conversation kama mzazi ameingia nyumbani from work na halafu amekuta kwamba everything is in disorder. Socks somehow ziko kwa kikombe iko kwa karai iko chini ya kitanda, and kile kikombe ambacho kilitumiwa kwa chai ya asubuhi bado kiko kwa meza, plus jug ya chai na sufuria ya chakula bado iko kwa meza. You don't expect really to have any conversation. So on my side as a teenager, I need to first of all make sure that my house is in order. Halafu tena at these hard times, hizi nyakati ambazo tuko, there is modernization, things have changed. and people are working into late hours. Now, it's also good to put yourself in their shoes. Kama, like, how is my parent feeling anapokuja nyumbani jioni? Am I saying something?
Kama hiyo point yako, that tunasema that you want that bond with the parents here. And then unajua mimi kuna kitu in my life naitanga like that point tumeenda kumwelezea your issues, mi uita #kamati ya roho chafu. Yani that is the part where umeenda kuambiwa vitu zote wewe ufanya mbaya. Yani hata before like the way teacher amesema, umeona mtu akona tu kiatu yenyewe unahitaji tu like hey, si ndio? Then umeenda tu vizuri, kijana mzuri aliosha nyumba akaosha vyombo lakini ulisahau kufagia nje. Siko ubaya, ulisahau tu. Saa ile part yani anaruka tu story, naambia mom kuna hii kiatu nini, unasikia kiatu na ukufagia nje. Like how try relate vitu zenye haziendani at some part,
Hiyo ni ukweli. Ama kukumbuka makosa yenye alishakuchapa years ago. Like, na wewe ile siku ulitoka, we are done with that. Unafaa ukiamua unataka kuaddress mtoto wako, especially at this funny age, umuaddress in a way that utamuelewa, yani hadi yeye ataona enyewe my mom is trying to tell me something, na you'll do your very best to make her happy. But you unamuaddress ni kama she's the devil himself. No, you just be okay.
Okay, actually hapo kwa kuaddress as a parent, mostly kama maybe the mothers, as a mother you're supposed to understand kwanza mtoto wako maybe ako na ile attitude yako ukiwa mdogo, like maybe kama ulikuwa na attitude mbaya ukiwa like mdogo, you should understand your child first of all. Anaweza kuwa inherit tabia zangu, maybe kama anger issues, so like ukimapproach unafaa kumapproach in a way you guys won't fight or anything, amta disagree on anything. I think that's how it should be.
Alafu kwangu hiyo like kuna at times wanakukosea na they don't na wakuji kuapologize ama kitu kama hiyo. Alafu unajua kuna hiyo wakiwa wamekukosea ni ngumu uende kuwaambia. Na mimi upande wangu hii ndio inakuwa like the start of mental instability. Hapa ndio penye naanza kubeba bitterness in my heart. Like at some point nikifanya kazi tuseme hata nikiosha vyombo, like ninaona like my mom namuona akiwa mtu mbaya, like everything that kila kitu, every bad perspective, every bad thing ashainifanyia inakujaga tu pa. So like mimi naona hapo hiyo communication, like wakikosea wanafaa kutafuta jinsi approachable ya kuja kuapologize, na kitu yenye utasikia like imemeka nini, kwa sababu kuna apologies zingine utaapologizewa lakini
hautafeel kitu bado so hapo just umesikia sasa.
Okay,
sasa okay guys, I know like the conversation just got more interesting, but we have to make pizza. Check out our segment for It's Not Just for the Gram. Enjoy.
Hi everyone, my name is Jemima Wairimo. Today I'm going to show you how to make pizza at home. Yeah, first thing when you get into the kitchen, you wash your hands and then you wear the apron. Yes, and then take your ingredients, you put it on the table. powder, oil, sugar, and salt. So yeah, we're going to start. Measure 1 cup of flour. Then we are going to add water.
I hope you enjoyed that small activity. It's not just for the gram. Mnasikia kasema kapita? You can try make your own pizza at home, just as you have seen. Yes, so we have to continue. Tuliacha conversation kakiwa kameshika, right? And picking up from Mercy, and she actually said that there comes a time you are crying, but you cannot like reach out to your parent, you know. And we are asking, like, what are some of the things we as teenagers can reach out to our parents, and what are some of those things we are afraid of? Like, have you ever been in that situation? Like, umekuwa na experience but unaogopa. What are some of the things you guys can ask and go to your parents, and what are some of those things you can actually not go to your parents?
Okay, kulingana na hiyo, mimi najua like my parent, the only thing utamuuliza na afurahie ni mimi nataka kitabu fulani, nataka hii textbook, you know. But you know, for me, like me ni actor, sindio? So like my mom hapendi kuona, ama my dad like nimeenda into this segment of acting sana, you know. Anatakanga tu niko always in my books, you know, like na nesa zingine tu haiwezi kama saa hii. Nilisoma tangu March, siwezi soma mpaka saa hii. Sijui ni kwa nini.
Okay. Sasa kwa the part ya vitu zenye wezi muambia. So for me nilikuwa na like a friend who was struggling with porn addiction. Like he was too much into that. Lakini sasa yeye, her mom used to tell her, wenda kuonya vitu zingine, lakini najua wewe niko sure wewe uochiki porn hata hakuna haja nikuambie. So for him, yeye kwa concept yake anajua mama yake ana believe yeye ha watch porn. So yeye kwake kwenda kuambia like her parent that I watch porn, it's like whoa hapo we can't go.
Kwa expect.
Yeah, like itagonga her mom with a shock, na atakuwa like tuseme more of disappointed in him rather than anajaribu kumsaidia. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like our parents have so much, wameeka vitu zenye ni kama nikuambia Lynette, like I expect you to do much better, so to a point that like their worldviews and their perceptions has been kept to, if you do something like I was not expecting something like that. Unaget?
Hapo kwa expectations za mzazi ukwe mzuri, na like you can't tell him or her like maybe shida zenye uko nazo, and venye amekuraise and expect like you have to be perfect in this and this. So like hapo pia inaleta shida kwa sababu like if like for example hii topic najua mtaki kutaja, lakini story na like boyfriend girlfriend, like 99% of the teens inakuanga ngumu uende uambie mom I have this boyfriend na nika ana like unajua
so kawe kutuwezi like
unajua ni ngumu, like huwezi enda uambie mzazi mom niko na ni ngumu. Hata
mbona mnaona kama ni ngumu by the way?
Ni ngumu hata kuquarrel, hata sijui it's just negative. Huwezi expect atakupea response positive.
Mimi niko na siapo mostly kwa akili ya a teenager, vile mmesema, una expectingi ni mzazi wako atakuja kuanzisha hiyo topic. Mbona yani sitaki kusema okay ukwe yani mbona usiende umshow mi kuna kitu inanisumbua, mom there is this boy this and this and this, ama daddy there is this boy, like me I went to my dad, since right now we are with my dad. I went to my dad and I poured out what I wanted to say. I asked him all these things about relationships and sex and all that stuff, na aliniambia kitu ya kwanza, aliniambia ati he admires me so much juu tangu tangu yani anasikianga akuja approach hii topic, lakini anashindagwa juu anaona mimi ni msichana, siezi yani anaonanga tu kama nafanga kwenda kuongelesha mama, yani siezi enda kwake. Mimi naonanga wewe mwenyewe pia you go and start the conversation. Yes, ni ngumu na leo ni ngumu. Sasa ilikuwa rahisi pia mimi kwenda kumshow, hey daddy, tell me about this stuff. Sasa it's hard, lakini kuna vile tu ndio uweze pia kumuongelesha, you open up, umshow, hey daddy, me there are some things I really want you to talk to me and tell me the right way to this. You go, unamuongelesha, unamshow, hey daddy, this and this is happening to me. I have feelings for this boy. Tell me, show me your perspective. You as my dad, tell me.
So like kwangu yo part ya relationships ya boys na girls, what I think ni that kwa akili ya wazazi wanatuonaga kama walking hormones, na ndo kazi yetu yani tunatafuta tu pali pa kupata nest, so be like I'm searching for a soulmate kitu kayo. So ndo maana like kwao unaona like awangali tunatafuta msichana in the sense that tunataka kuwa marafiki, kwao tunatafuta msichana ndo ili for sexual purposes. Most of them wanafikiria that hivyo ndo venye mimi naona.
Alafu unajuanga wazazi wanakuanga washafeel akili zetu wasichana. Nani msichana hapa aje ameambiwa wanaume ni wabaya, wanaume all they want is sex,
boy child.
No, so like sasa bila karanga hivi niko karibu na so kijana ameanza kuniangalia like how all he wants is sex. Hivyo ndio kitu mzazi wangu ameniaka kwa akili. Kitu ningependa wa understand, tuna vile tumelelewa, tuseme tu kweli. Si wametufunza tukue moral.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Na pia umelelewa kwa kanisa. Kwa hivyo wasikuwa wanakujudge so fast that you anaona umekuwa mkubwa, so all you're thinking about is just having a boyfriend or having a girlfriend.
So you guys, have you ever been in a position like you've gone to your parent, you've reached out, but after a week or two you listen, like you've heard your parents saying maybe umesikia hiyo story na msee mwingine, and or maybe just maybe you've tried telling them, but like something is just messed up because wameambia mtu mwingine something you did not expect. How do you guys face that confrontation from your parents, and especially to a point, I'm sure this is very normal to us, where a parent, like you have tried telling your mom or your dad that they're wrong about a specific thing, but they keep on insisting, apana, no, I'm the right one, like they don't want to accept. How is it for you guys?
Okay, naona hiyo patati unaenda kuambia mzazi umeenda kujaribu tu kumwelezea that ako wrong. Sasa hapo ndio shida inaingilia. Yani ushaigeuziwa
they are too proud. Yani
unageuziwa story nyingine haikuwa hapo. Yani umemwambia tu vizuri na siko ubaya. Umeenda tu yenyewe imekuuma. But unafika tu hivi anaona huyu kijana anaona mahali anaenda. Unageuziwa. Yani hata naona sasa ulisema umeacha tu kikombe hapo. Siku ukasahau tu kikombe juu ya meza. Umeenda umemconfront nini, unajaribu kumwambia, unageuziwa tu unaulizwa hiyo kikombe inafanya nini hapo. Na hiyo ndio ilikuwa intention yako, like yenyewe kuna hii ilikuwa tu ndani yako, like ilikuwa ni lazima useme, si ndio? But then mimi sijaelewa kwa nini au tugeuzie inakuwa sasa si ndio tuko na shida. Like maybe unaweza explain me.
So how do you feel like from a parent's point of view?
I think the way so much is coming from us, it's there's a little tint of frustration because we are not able to communicate with our parents, and there's so much that goes around the age that is right now. But may I start by saying no parent wants to be given a title of a grandfather, there's no mother that wants to be called a grandmother through a teenage. No one. Not one. I think they want a place whereby a person is fully matured so that they start a home of their own, so that now they can be called grandfather, grandmother. And therefore, that is a fear that drives many parents. It's out of love. Maybe the many boundaries we see, and some of them are very stern, they're out of that. Not out of, I don't want you to have fun. Not that I don't want you to experience life. No. But in the right way. So, and again, not every parent-teen relationship is the same. You can never have two people that are the same. Now, the same mix. You cannot have two parents and two teens that are the same. And their relationship is ever different. So there's no way of, some will be able to speak every topic openly. Some will never speak every topic. That is the way it is. And as you grow up, just know there are challenges that will never go away. But you have to learn to cope. You have to learn to manage. As I started by saying, this is not a perfect world. The parents may not be perfect. Up to some age, you knew they were perfect. Up to now, there are a few things that are not right. But they remain to be parents because in their hearts and their intentions, they want the best for you. And by the way, there are things that they will say no to right now. You may not know, but later you realize that, sure enough, their intentions were right. The other thing is, I don't have to fit into every group. Because, this also leads to the issue of boyfriend, girlfriend. What is the real drive of wanting to have a boyfriend? What is the real drive and need? Of course, it is not sexual. But at the same time, this is the age that sexuality is heightened. And that is the fear of the parent. Because at this age, should anything go wrong, this is the time that sexual urges, the body is changing. There are some body parts that are becoming prominent, which were not, in readiness for procreation a few years later. They are prominent, and the parent has noticed this, and the parent knows also, if I notice this, that something is happening with my girl or my young man, every other person is also noticing. It is that fear that drives the parent to really put measures, not out of hate, out of love. And that love becomes so tough, depending on the parent, and depending also on where they have come from. So there are people that will never discuss that issue. And at that point where you cannot be able to discuss issues, sexuality or relational, then it is also good to look for a mentor, a trusted mentor, a mentor that your parent knows also, that will keep you safe. And I think we should be in agreement in that.
But I feel like that comes from lack of trust, somehow. I stand to be corrected. But what do you think?
Yes, and that is why I'm saying, from the onset, have you given your parent any reason for them to doubt you? And at the same time, up to now, are you doing some self-construction so that you are able to communicate well with your parents? If they realize you keep to yourself, if they realize every family time you are apart in your room, with your phone, with conversation and laughters, what do you think they will?
They might perceive something.
Yes, they will perceive, and kama mpelekani vizuri,
Yeah.
kama imekuwa mnakosana, actually watafikiria okay, this is where it is leading. Na projection hapo inaweza ingilia kwamba nothing good is coming out of. It is good to do every effort now that you are growing up to be also you are intelligent, to be able to communicate and to be able to negotiate issues. That is what I believe. Because ukinyamaza na ukae peke yako and you are not, and the other thing is that you cannot never confront a parent. It is not the right thing to do. I mean, it is not common sense ku confront mtu yule anakulipia school fees, analipa chakula ile unakula, even the next meal una expect itoke kwake and you are confronting them. Again, in the family unit, it is where we learn. If we don't get it right katika family unit, we might never get it. If a person is rebellious, amue kwamba I'm just rebellious. Those are the people that later in life wasipo learn to live with authority and to live with other people and to associate with other people, ndio watu ambao wanaishi katika correctional facilities.
Okay.
Inaitwa jela. But if they are able to learn well at home, I know it doesn't feel very good. Again, it's also good to learn to handle someone's emotions.
Yes.
Because right now, at this age, ni wakati ambapo hormones are playing tricks on you. Sometimes you feel very happy. Sometimes you feel so sad. Somebody talked about crying. Sometimes you cry without a reason. Nasikia tu dunia hii ni mbaya. Sometimes you feel this is the best place. I'm glad I was born. And these emotions pia, they make you make decisions. So it's the right time again to do self-construction by way of knowing how to handle your emotions. If you're told no, there are young people that have committed suicide. Na ukiangalia ni nini is a very small issue. But it was not the issue. It was the covered up, the bottled up emotions ambazo wamekuwa nazo. There are things we can do. Right now you're energetic. Do some writing. This guy is a poet. Write as many poems as spoken words as you are able. You are a guitarist. Do that, record something. Journal, if you have thoughts ambazo unasikia kwamba these are pressing na sina mtu wa kuambia, find a journal, do journaling, write your thoughts. Because it's also the same as speaking your thoughts, because you are getting your thoughts from your mind or from your heart and emotions and kuzitoa.
Yeah. So, guys, we have to continue the discussion for next week. Do join us next week. And we have some of the things we have tackled today are vulnerability and confrontation. How to deal with confrontation. And Gabriel has given us as how, as teenagers, we can manage to control different things that we face in life. Join us next week for another episode on this episode that is continuing on this topic. See you then.